low chance.
Bengals
Jets are done for me.
Huh?
Bengals are going to be done for me.
Raiders
are going to be done for me too.
You're no more supporting your boy Aiden O'Connell.
I love Aiden O'Connell, but I think the task is too much, man.
Yeah,
it's the AFC.
Just find Devontae Adams.
Like they kind of have to like win a lot more.
Yeah.
Right now, 5 and 6, they have to win like every single game left.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
And make sure you guys follow our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything down below. And audio listeners, make sure you guys download the podcast, give it a 5-star rating on whatever platform you guys use. And then, come over to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button. And on the flip side, YouTube go down the other way as well. Then listen to wherever you guys want to listen to this. But a couple of housekeeping items before we get into it.
Housekeeping.
That's I think what they use.
That's what
that's what the podcasters use. We got 3 new videos out this week that are bangers. I'm guaranteeing you that it's a banger videos. First one, just an NFL mid-season tier list, all right? Because weekly we always been doing rankings. We always talk about NFL weekly no matter what. So our mid-season ranking is out. That was out on Saturday. So make sure you guys check that out. 2 guest videos out. One on Friday, one on Sunday. Friday, Peter Galindo brought him back first 2-time. He's a two-time guest. Talked about kind of soccer, U17s, which we'll get into slightly later on. And
Blake Murphy.
Oh no, I was gonna finish the Peter part. And like European soccer and his take on the officiating and how bad it's been. All right. But Blake Murphy, go ahead.
Blake Murphy, NBA, MLB, more specifically the Blue Jays. And NBA, we cover a lot of stuff: Lakers, Raptors, and
the league as a whole.
In-season tournament, Draymond, all that stuff. So.
He's from Sportsnet, so make sure you guys check Blake stuff out. He's on the Raptor show with Will Lou. They did a podcast. On their show they had Adam Silver on, which was a banger. Listen, so make sure you guys check that out. And Peter from One Soccer, also Sportsnet, so make sure you guys check his workout. Last thing, we mentioned tier list this weekend. MLB season finale, everything. Tier list should be out on Saturday, if not Sunday, most likely. Can't control the tech issues and the windstorms we may have, but
the power outages.
Yeah. But and without further ado, let's just get right into this NFL season. Let's start off with Thursday Night Football.
It was a big one up until Joe Burrow got injured.
Yeah, like that was the. What's the word? I can't.
The controversy?
No, not controversy, because there's no controversy.
There is controversy.
What?
But Joe Burrow injury.
That's not controversy.
It's an investigation.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that part in a second.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. It was a letdown, I guess. It was like.
Oh yeah.
I guess it was a slight letdown because of the injury. The controversy is, since you mentioned it, is that they didn't report his injury on the injury report, and they're strict with it. I didn't know they were this strict.
They are strict with it, yeah.
And even if he was questionable or whatever, because they saw him with a hand brace, I think it was, on Wednesday.
It's called a splint.
Something, right? And it wasn't reported, and then clearly he got hurt pretty quick within the first half, right? And so they're obviously going to invest. Now he's out for the year.
Torn ligament in his wrist.
And if the consequences could be either they get fined or they lose a pick. And now, different sport, but we saw what happened with the NHL.
Picks in the NFL. Picks in the NFL.
Miami last year, I think, was for more. Yeah. I don't know what it was for. I think it was tampering or whatever, but yeah.
Picks in the NFL are different. They're a different beast because you could just rebuild the NFL team in 1 year. So if you hit on the picks and hit on a couple free agents, you're back to contendership. Yeah,
so sticking with the Bengals, now I didn't really say it public. No, I just said it publicly, but I didn't specify it as much as I had my hot take with the Giants being better than the Cowboys. But I did say that I will not be surprised if Zach Taylor gets fired. I didn't disclose that he would get fired, but I won't be surprised if he gets fired if they lose a draft.
He's not.
No, because if they lose,
that reason, yes.
That part of the reason.
But performance issues, he's not.
Performance, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I don't think he will. I will still be.
I'll be surprised.
I won't be as surprised if he does.
If he survives the investigation part, I'll be surprised if he gets fired. But other than that, if he gets fired because of the investigation and all that stuff, then I totally understand.
Yeah, because that one is okay, well, you messed up our pick. You also didn't get the job done again earlier in the year. and you deserve to be fired at that point, right? But yeah, to your point, I will still not be as surprised as you would be because I still did come out and say he would get fired, potentially get fired, and stuff like that. But going back to the game, so Joe Burrow gets hurt. Jake Browning, right?
Jake Browning is their quarterback
QB
to finish off the season now.
And that part sucks because it wasn't like they built a cushion in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're 5-5. They're looking like they're gonna be outside.
Looking in.
Not even looking in. I'm just saying outside.
Oh, so they're outside. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the playoff picture as a whole near the end.
But yeah, let's get back into the game. We'll talk a little bit of the Ravens here.
No, before you go to the Ravens, let's finish off the Bengals completely here for a second.
All right, yeah.
Should they go out and get like a free agent QB that could be available, a la
I don't think
Carson Wentz to the Rams type thing?
It's not gonna, and nothing's gonna happen. Like, it's not gonna work.
Who is a guy avaavailable though?
No
like,
one right now.
No. I'm just saying in general, like
the only person that I could think could give him a chance if Tannehill gets released and then they sign him.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no one that's gonna give him a chance. No one's gonna make him, push him over the top.
Okay, so let's go to the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens bounce back performance. Lamar clean game, no interceptions. Looked injured for a bit too.
Yeah, he did get hurt in the first half.
He was in the blue tent as well, but came back, finished off the game. But their injury blow is Mark Andrews.
Yeah, for the year. I think something serious injury to his ankle.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're looking at the Ravens' performance in the game, good game by Lamar.
OBJ had a great game.
OBJ finally, really showed out. I think Nelson Aguilar got a touchdown as well.
He did not drop him like the fireman.
Yeah. And, it was like a good, solid Ravens victory, good defense, good everything. So, it's like they showed why they're, the contenders that we think they are. But it's kind of hard and difficult to do that without Mark Andrews.
Yeah. With the Bengals now being out of the picture, and did we talk about Deshaun Watson's injury already?
No.
Or did that happen after?
I don't remember.
Because Deshaun Watson is now out for the year.
I think that was Tuesday, right?
So we did probably talk about it.
I think we did mention it.
Okay, so we talked about it, but I'm saying like I was gonna say the Ravens are probably a lock to win the division, but at the same time I'm like that Cleveland defense and DTR had a great game today, which we'll slightly get into later on. But the rookie got his first win, obviously. But it wasn't like an offensive showdown game, right?
Against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so let's talk about the division right now.
No offense.
Yeah, it was like Fire Matt Canada was trending again, not surprising. Peter Glindo, obviously a big Steelers fan. We were talking to him off camera about this. And he's like, Kenny Pickett's a good placeholder till we draft another QB or find a... maybe trade for a Kyler Murray, for example, if they do get rid of him.
This is where the issue comes in with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
He's always 500, so they're never going to get a good pick to get that top guy.
Yeah. Unless they trade up or something.
Unless they trade up, yeah.
But like I said, they could maybe trade for a Kyler if Arizona takes that route of drafting a QB, right? Or whoever else could be that. But no, we're staying with the division. Is Ravens a lock for you, or do you think because the offensive... lack of offense of Pittsburgh and now Cleveland will be like, it's a lock, or it's like, you know what, their defenses are so elite that I won't be surprised. Because at the same time, the Ravens' defense is elite too.
It's a lock.
It's a lock, right? For sure.
Yes, they may have struggled against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But against Cleveland Browns, you dropped 31.
The first time, yeah.
Oh yeah,
the second time. The second time too, but the first time they beat they destroyed.
Yeah, they destroyed them. They could play against good defenses.
Yeah.
Right. The issue was obviously Lamar had
they have a
key interception. One bad play kind of cost them the game.
They have a bad habit of letting teams back into the game.
Type of thing, yeah.
Like against divisional matchups especially.
That was perfect. Like if they could do it against the Browns defense, I'm confident they could do it against that Steelers defense. But at the end of the day, division games, Steelers been finding a way of doing it. And you never know what happens there. But yeah, for me, Ravens are a lock, and nobody's touching them in that division.
And they're officially a contender for you for the Super Bowl now, based on what you've seen.
Yeah,
so far.
they are.
Because everybody says
as long as they're healthy.
I got to see Lamar in the playoffs again.
As long as they're healthy, yeah. Obviously Lamar in the playoffs is still a question mark. You gotta still see it. But if you're looking at him right now, if he's playing like how he is, I have no doubts that he will perform in the playoffs.
Okay, let's talk about the playoff picture. Now, because there's no point to talk about individual. No game really stood out for me.
Talk about a couple games here. Bills bounced back.
Or should we talk about the Sunday Night Football game as well?
Yeah, we'll mention that. But
Bills,
quick, let's do a quick rundown.
Sure.
The Bills bounced back. Obviously, kind of expected them to do it because they always do. But it's the next game that's the issue.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do?
The Jets finally benched. That's a big story because the Jets finally benched Zach Wilson. Obviously, he went 7 for 15, 81 yards. But again, like he got sacked 5 times now. I don't know how much of it's on him. Let's just say Aaron Rodgers gets medically cleared. I don't think he will.
I think it's too late.
But it's not even just too late. It's just like you want to risk him on that O-line anyways.
Yeah.
So
like I think they're done.
So yeah,
they're 4-6 now. Like it's a mountain to climb, especially with the AFC. It's not the NFC. Right?
Dude, when we saw the comp of the AFC in the hunt and then the NFC,
like the NFC playoff picture is already set,
except for the division
except
of the
for the NFC
South.
Yeah,
That's it.
like genuinely.
But yeah, another game quickly. Let's just go to Sunday Night Football.
No, there's probably one more. The Chargers. They're looking like they're gonna be blowing it again because they lost to the Packers and now they're 4-6.
Yeah,
that's pretty surprising.
Quentin
record.
Johnson with a massive drop.
That's a pretty surprising record. Yeah.
Justin Herbert had a good game today, so it's like
I mean, I don't.
Okay, let's talk.
He's
about
had a
this.
good game, but has he been good enough? Because
today's game, I'm speaking specifically. But my question to you is this: now, let's just get the big picture out of the way. We already saw Josh McDaniels get fired.
He's
mid-season.
fired. I already know what you're gonna ask.
No, I mean, I'm not even saying off season.
Yeah.
I'm saying should he? I'm not even saying he. I agree with you. He's getting fired in the off season. Should he get fired tomorrow?
No, he's not getting fired tomorrow.
But should he?
He should. He should.
In my opinion, if I'm the Chargers right now, and then I'll get to Washington in a second. If I'm the Chargers, I'm firing Staley tomorrow. Give Kellen Moore the keys to see what he could do as a head coach. Promote one of your defensive guys to DC. Or DC is already there, so make him call plays because he was asked today, "Are you gonna still be calling plays on defense?" And I don't know what I think got pissed off. I didn't even bother listening to it because I know he's gonna be like, "Yeah, clearly it's not working." Right? For me, Chargers fire their coach, go promote Kellen Moore or your DC as your head coach. I would say Kellen Moore just to see because he was getting head coaching interviews, I believe, last couple of years, and see what you have in that. I won't be surprised if the Chargers, if that's the case, Chargers bounce back and make the playoffs.
Yeah, to add on your point, if you really want to change something,
you do this now.
Because you can't really add trade deadlines. No addition is gonna make you like a god tier, right? There's no good free agent.
No one's gonna get released, really.
No one's gonna get released, right? So this is the only thing you could do right now.
They need to do it now. They're 4-6.
They're 4-6. They need to do it now, and then I think you gotta get to with the AFC looking right. Like you gotta get to 11. 10's not even safe.
Yeah, so that division's already a lock, right? You're fighting with literally everybody in your division now. But that division, which was supposed to be
your last place in your division,
like they're also the AFC East.
They're last place in their division.
Yeah, so they need to. It's not like they need to. You said they aren't gonna, but you're agreeing with that they should.
They should.
Yeah,
if they want to,
they need to fire him now.
Go get Jeff Saturday. All right,
that's a little too extreme. Like Phillip Rivers, I guess.
Go get Phillip Rivers.
No, but no, genuinely fire Staley, promote Kellen Moore, give someone else OC calls, OC duties, and get your DC to call defensive plays. Right? We need to see a change. You can't let Justin Herbert. I know I get it a little bit's on him as well. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how much of Kellen Moore's play calling is an issue in this, and obviously Mike Williams being injured doesn't help. But you brought up Quentin Johnson for a reason.
Keenan Allen's been balling, bro.
Yeah, he's balling. You can't waste this year because there's legitimately a chance still. Right?
There is.
I don't know. We're not going to look at the schedule too much, but yeah, there's
it's slim,
that.
Though. It's
but
slim.
On the flip side, let's go to Washington. Ron Rivera needs to get fired tomorrow.
Ron Rivera, you could throw in Frank Reich.
Yeah.
But Frank Reich, I'm just not going to do it just because rookie quarterback type thing, you know.
But still, for his record, should get him fired.
He should, yeah.
Frank Reich will get fired before the year if he doesn't win another game.
Yeah.
Like by week 14, if he still win, he's getting fired.
Yeah.
There's no debates about that.
Okay, I heard this thing where like Frank Reich saying like, you know, sometimes management ownership gets involved, and then like
Pepper does, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and he faced that with Irsay, but then Irsay wasn't much until the last year.
Yeah, but the thing is like they got involved, like they were involved from the whole process to the point that like I think they wanted CJ Stroud. Like I heard.
Yeah, I heard the rumors.
The Josh McCown, the Canucks are crumbling right now, like they are in real life. But Josh McCown said to CJ Stroud in his workout that like, yo, I want to see you in Charlotte.
And Frank Reich looked like during his workout too, he was like hugging him. And I think Tepper wanted Bryce Young.
Exactly.
And he got Bryce Young. Now he screwed the Colts over because we'll get to CJ Stroud in a second. But yeah, Frank Reich's gone for sure by the end of the year. But I won't be surprised if he gets fired with one win in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera though, you're wasting Sam Howell right now. I don't know what happened. How'd you
Sam
lose?
Howell struggled himself too.
True, but how are you losing to the Giants?
Exactly.
Like with Tommy DeVito right?
You can't.
That can't happen to you. And yeah, but that's it. Like those three coaches could get fired within tomorrow, and I will not be surprised. And it probably should be the case at this point. Yeah. Frank Reich, I'll give him a little bit of leniency, but even then, one win for that
because they have nothing to play for. That's why.
Yeah,
right. But the other two, they could make a push, and the only way they can make a push,
Chargers especially.
Yeah.
So
honestly, even the Commanders, just because like they're technically 2 games behind.
Sticking with the coaches though, before we get off the coaches topic, Belichick, obviously he ain't getting fired, so he might step down, or they might ask for a release or whatever the case may be, or trade his ass.
So it's a fire, basically.
Or the trade his ass.
It's a nice
a mutual agreement because they're not gonna. Yeah. They're gonna let Bill decide what he wants to do, right? Because I don't think it'll be a fire in that case.
It's a nice way of firing.
But
the polite way.
True. The reports are Chargers are a favorite because I think Dan Orlovsky said there's a team that could go after him, and this I was about to say the Redskins, Commanders. One, where would you like to see him fit? 2, do you think Belichick going to the Chargers, especially because they're more of a contender than I'm not saying they are contenders. I'm saying they're more road to contendership. They're kind of there compared to the Commanders. Do you think he will fit the Chargers well?
Yeah, I think he can. Because offensively, I'm still like confident in the personnel they have.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you have a defensive coach,
he could fix that. Right?
And then
it just depends on if he brings his guys in like Josh McDaniels. Then sure, I'll agree with that. It depends on how stubborn he gets with how last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Commanders, I guess they're saying that he could be a favorite there. We'll see how that goes.
I think that should be Eric Bieniemy's team, in my personal opinion. It
depends, right? Like depends on because there's new ownership that came in. I don't know if this ownership is the one that hired Bieniemy. That's the other thing. Is Magic Johnson's group, right? And whoever else. But okay, let's go quick other rundown then. CJ Stroud finally looked first half he looked amazing, but then kind of went human. Second half, like he played like a rookie essentially in the second half.
It was still good enough for a win, at least at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but
3 picks.
It was. He came back down a little bit. He came back down to earth a little bit. You know, now he has 4 picks in his last 2 games. But
yeah, more than doubled it this time.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
one game. Davis Mills got a throw for 2 yards, 1 throw, 1 for 1.
But you know, they beat who they're supposed to beat, which was the Arizona Cardinals, right? And now they're a 6-14.
Hey, Arizona made me almost look right though.
Yeah,
because it was a close game.
They were close, but at the end of the day, if Stroud doesn't throw those picks, like they were in control the whole game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
All right, Chicago Bears. Is Flus gone at the end of the year? This difference because the choke job, especially with the defensive coach against Detroit. Detroit now is proving that like they'll win games they shouldn't have won. They're that team now where sometimes
they're a good team. They're there. I mean, Jared Goff threw 3 picks, right? Like, how do you win that game?
Yeah,
you don't win those games, and they found a way. Obviously, I don't know how much is the Bears being bad, or the Lions being the comeback kids.
Yeah. Upset of the day probably Rams Seahawks. I don't know. Was there any upset?
Yeah, that'll be considered with Cooper Kupp going out. Seahawks did get in the position. Geno did well enough to get into field goal range, and Jason Myers missed 2 kicks in a row because the first one was a doink, but it was timeout.
Yeah.
And then the second one he hit wide right, I believe.
Stafford came back, obviously.
Stafford coming back is also major, but Geno. Speaking of Geno, he might not be ready for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, because he's injured. Drew Lock came in, went 2 for 6, 3 yards.
The triple header Thursday Night Football, by the way.
American Thanksgiving. Happy early American Thanksgiving to all the American viewers. I think we could have said this on Wednesday as well, but I'm pretty sure you guys will be all watching football on Thursday when we release this. But no, because Seahawks are 6-4. They're not. But it's like a weird 6-4. Like they don't feel 6-4 to me.
Yeah,
I guess more because of recent games, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. And the last one, the Sunday Night Football game, Josh Dobbs' magic ran out.
Yeah, unfortunately. I gotta give it to the Broncos, right? They're finding a way to win games.
5-5 now.
They're 5-5. They're back in the mix, right? Starting off, I think
this is what I expected from them. Now, I
believe 0-3 they started off.
Yeah,
right. And
Russell Wilson's not playing. I'm not saying he's MVP, but he's playing
he's improved player than last year for sure, right? Like Sean Payton did help a little bit. It just things just went wrong for them at the wrong time many times this season. But now it's not happening like that anymore, and they're finding a way to win games.
Cortland Sutton.
It's not clean. Yeah, Cortland Sutton's been amazing these last few weeks. But yeah, it's not clean wins, but like at the end of the day, you gotta scrap and claw to find a way to get them, and they are doing that. They did it against the Bills, did it against the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll see what they do against next week. I forgot who they're playing.
The Broncos?
Broncos, yeah.
They're playing. Why am I going to standings right now? I don't think they have a bye week, right?
No, they already did the
Cleveland. That's a big game.
Okay, yeah, that's
Battle
a
of
big
the
game.
defense there in a way.
That is a big game.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win that game because their offense is kind of getting there now. Kind of. I'm not saying it's like fully there.
It's kind of difficult to move the ball.
They're not finishing off like as a touchdown.
They're getting field goals.
Like what, 5 field goals today? 4 field goals?
5 field goals, yeah. And Cleveland Browns defense is hard to move the ball around. But it's gonna be a tough one. I think Cleveland will edge that one out just because they'll come back down to a little bit. They're due for a loss. Like I said, for Pittsburgh, they're due for a loss. But yeah, the Cleveland defense is just too good. I don't think they're gonna be able to move it too much.
All right, let's get into before we get to Monday Night Football, big Monday Night Football game.
Big one, yeah.
One news, you mentioned it earlier, Tannehill asked to be released. I don't know if it's an official source, but that's what I saw. To that point, maybe the Browns, maybe the Browns, but also the Bengals could pick him up. But we'll see how that goes. Let's get to the playoff picture though. Very early, we're at the stage now in the hunt, and our squad Indy is in the mix, which is kind of surprising to see. Obviously, the Texans being the biggest surprise are in a playoff spot. So currently, division leaders are Miami 7-3, Ravens 8-3. So and then Jags 7-3, Chiefs 7-2. All of them actually
all locks. They're all locks.
Houston, Jacksonville. It depends on what happens with that.
That's next week.
Yeah, so that will determine if that's a lock.
Yeah.
So I won't say that one. I won't say that one's a lock.
But the other, they're looking like the door is not shut. But it's like a.
But you want to say it's a lock because
the door is slightly open.
But you want to say it's a lock because it's
But the other 3, Dolphins should be a lock division winners. KC because that division is brutal.
Yeah.
And Ravens should edge it out too.
Okay, and then on the NFC side, Philadelphia depends on how their second game with the Cowboys go, but there should be a lock to win the division. Detroit now should be a lock.
Lock.
After today's Vikings loss.
Yeah.
Saints are wide open.
Wide open.
And Niners should be a lock, even though they're like a game.
Lock.
They're a game ahead, but there should be a lock.
We'll find out on a Thursday.
Yeah. So the wild card in right now.
Get the NFC out of the way, just because.
Okay, sure.
They already look like it's already done.
Wild card number 1, 7-3 Cowboys. Number 2, the 6-4 Seahawks. And number 3 are the 6-5 Vikings.
The wild card's already locked.
So that 6-5 Vikings, that Vikings loss might hurt.
Key, yeah.
That's the only one that'll hurt them.
But everyone else outside looking in is 2 games behind.
Okay, so
already.
Yeah, so I'm gonna name
everyone.
I'm naming some teams. Green Bay Packers, you're not gonna give them anything. Like base it on the 6-5 Vikings here.
They've been on a good run lately.
Yeah,
2 games in a row. They still got 2 games against the Vikings.
Okay,
so that'll be big games there for them.
So that will determine that.
Yeah. Okay,
Rams at 4-6.
But they have to win both.
Rams with 4-6 with a healthy Stafford, or not healthy, like a playing Stafford, I guess.
Playing Stafford
and playing Cup. Would you be surprised if they overtake and take 3rd?
No, Rams. I'll give Rams a chance.
Okay, Atlanta Falcons at 4-6, not including division.
That's division.
That's just division.
That's
Tampa division as well.
That's division.
Washington at 4-7 out.
They're out. They're done.
And then the rest are
Just
done.
Don't even say about anything else.
Okay, so you're saying the only team that have a fighting chance for you outside of the NFC South divisional teams are the Packers and the Rams, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the Packers depends on how they do against the Vikings.
Because Packers play the Vikings twice, so like that kind of gives them a little bit of benefit there.
Yeah. Okay, AFC is the biggest one. So right now it's a 7-3 Browns at the first wildcard spot. Houston Texans are 6-4 with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-4. Bills outside looking in at 6-5. Colts 5-5 hold the second. Denver 5-5. Cincy 5-5. 5-6 Raiders 4-6 Jets and Chargers. And then I'm not even gonna say Titans and Patriots at this point.
I'm not gonna consider Jets and Chargers because it's such a big hill to climb. The Jets are out for sure. Chargers
I could see again. If they fired the coach, I could see him.
They find a way to charger it up. So, but I'll give them a chance. I'll give Chargers a low chance.
Bengals?
Jets are done for me.
Huh?
Bengals are gonna be done for me.
Raiders
are gonna be done for me too.
So you're no more supporting your boy Aiden O'Connell.
I love Aiden O'Connell, but I think the task is too much, man.
Yeah.
It's the AFC.
Just
It's
find Devontae Adams when
like they kind of have to like win a lot more,
yeah.
right? Now 5 and 6, they have to win like every single game left.
Yeah, we'll try to do a research for in the schedule. We don't want to waste too much time looking into each team's
But
schedule.
yeah, Colts with the bye week kind of benefited because a few teams lost, like the Bengals,
Yeah.
the Raiders, the Jets and Chargers
Okay.
as
So
well.
with the Texans, okay, you're saying Cleveland's a lock or no at 7-3?
I think they
Or
should.
they're not, or because their offense now Deshaun Watson's injured and you don't know what to
They're
expect.
7-3, right?
Okay, I'll
They
pull
could-
up their schedule.
they're
I'm gonna pull up
7-3,
their
bro.
schedule because they're the highest seed.
They had just
They
should
got the
have,
Broncos.
they should have a good division.
They're
Like,
the Broncos.
they could win that game.
They have the Rams. At Broncos,
Yeah, okay.
at
Yeah.
Rams,
Yeah.
Jaguars,
No, Jaguars will be tough, but Bears just should win.
at Texans,
That's 50. That's a big one.
Jets, and then Bengals. They're both at
Jets-
Bengals and then versus the Jets.
Jets should be a win. Bengals should be a win.
Okay, so in that case, it could be like they're not
They'll be
a
fine.
lock for you though.
They'll be fine.
So are three of the wildcard teams right now complete locks? You're penciling again. If you're a betting man, I'm putting these three teams in a playoff spot right now.
The Browns.
So that one's a lock, 100%, no matter what. At any point, not the top seed. I'm not even saying that, but like at 1, 2, or 3 wild card, they're a
The
lock.
Browns are in.
Okay,
The Browns are in
Texans
for me.
no,
Texans is the Jaguars game will be a big one, and
because they could still win the division, which is
yeah,
crazy.
it's the Jaguars game that'll be a big
Yeah.
one. Other than that, I don't think they should be fine.
Because that defense is legit too.
That defense is really good.
Steelers,
They're not a lock.
they're not, but they'll finish 8-1, but they won't be a lock.
Yeah, they're not a playoff
Um,
lock, but they're a 500 lock.
But like, so are you buying the Bills at a playoff spot then? And that's the team that you're seeing again.
Bills should be able to sneak in my opinion.
Okay,
here.
so for one of those two teams.
Because like some teams falling off really this weekend. Obviously Bengals, Raiders, and then
yeah, no, I'm talking like those guys are out already.
yeah.
The teams that you're looking to fall out are the Texans and the Steelers. So you're saying one of those two teams will fall out? No, doesn't matter which one for the Bills for sure.
Well, I'm not gonna say for sure.
Well, like, no, not for sure. Like that's the team you're seeing. Like, okay, they will be in.
Those are teams
They-
are teams that overtake. Yes,
like a 60-40 thing ratio. Like 60-40, they're in.
it's 50-50. It's the Bills, man.
Still 50-50.
It's the Bills.
Okay, Denver. Before we finish off with the Colts,
I think it's too much for them.
at 5-5.
Yeah, same with the Colts. I think it's a little bit too much.
Colts are the easiest schedule though.
That's true.
One of the easier schedules.
But we have Gardner Minshew.
True.
And man gives Colts
Grover
Colts
Stewart's
fans
back in what, 2 weeks?
should be but
And then Denver.
that secondary you're not confident in the Colts secondary, right? Like you saw what
Denver has
happened
a tough
against Saints.
schedule remaining still.
Denver does
Because they have
tough.
their divisional games. At the end of the day, Chargers are going to be tough.
They have Chiefs, Chargers.
They don't have Chiefs anymore.
Oh, they beat the Chiefs.
It's
Never mind.
Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions, Patriots, Chargers, Raiders.
Yeah, no. I
So
think
it's all going to be tough.
Lions,
So you'll
Chargers.
give Colts the edge over the Broncos.
I'm
to
giving
make
Colts the edge over Broncos. I'm not saying this because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But like I generally do
Schedule.
believe, schedule, and then I do believe the Colts have the more talented team right now.
Okay, so so
like on field, not on paper, the Broncos are
all
more
right,
talented.
let's project to the future. Your 3 wildcard teams are at this moment right
At
now.
this moment, it's gonna go with assuming it's the same divisional winners.
Yeah, assuming the
I'm
same
gonna
divisional
go
winners.
with the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills,
Houston or Pittsburgh or Indy.
I'd probably give it to Houston.
Okay,
I can't trust the Pittsburgh offense. I don't know how they're winning games. I genuinely do not know.
where everybody's confused.
I'm so confused like how Pittsburgh has this record.
Yeah. And the NL is the same 3 that are right
And
now.
the NFC.
NFC, same
Yeah,
3.
same 3.
Okay, so yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with I will say Pitt. Okay, I haven't looked at the schedules. If I'm gonna go with mine, I think the Bills will get in. I think I can't see them not getting in. That's my unless something goes wrong with injury wise, assuming they're healthy or assuming the guys that are playing are still playing. I think that's I'm not a lock, I guess, but like they're probably gonna get in. It's just weird to saying that they're not. Now Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I think one of them gets in. Man, I want to be biased and say Indy over Houston because the one game, but yeah, I might go Pittsburgh. I might actually go Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Buffalo.
Who would have thought that like the final game of the season, you know how they have like the primetime game as like, okay, win and then playoff game, right?
Could be Indy, Houston.
It could be Indy Houston,
Yeah.
right? Like nobody would have ever thought that
Even like honestly, if the Bills are a win and in situation, no one would have thought that as well for the Bills.
as well. Yeah, like you thought Bills
Like they would be a lock like the Cowboys in terms of a
like 4th seed
like,
or 5th seed. I mean,
yeah, something like that.
yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been a weird season across. But
Weird season.
let's get into Monday Night Football now.
Super Bowl rematch. The Chiefs Eagles.
The Kelsey
Bowl is back, and I think it's gonna be a weird one in my opinion.
Is that Kansas City? I think it's at Kansas City.
I think it's at Arrowhead. I'm giving my edge to the Eagles just because I believe they've been the more consistent team, right? I think they've been better offensively than the Chiefs. And yes, the Chiefs defense has been one of the best in the league, but the Eagles defense is also there. The defense is very similar to me, but I'm going with the Eagles because I like their offense better than the Chiefs' offense.
I think the Eagles that had a problem in the beginning of the years, they didn't have a statement again. Right, I've said that many times against the weak teams, but when they came to the top teams, starting with the Cowboys onwards or whatever, they destroyed.
Cowboys, they barely beat the Cowboys.
True. Sorry. Yeah, but they were in control.
They win the games that they were supposed to win, right? And they beat the good teams. They beat Miami. They beat Minnesota at that time. They beat the Dallas Cowboys.
And at that time, the Patriots were supposed to be decent.
Patriots are shit.
But I went with the Eagles. 2 reasons. 1, everything you said. 2, for picks purposes, I went with the Eagles is because they're the underdog. Now they are at Arrowhead. Taylor Swift is supposed to be there, and that's when on paper Travis Kelce goes off, right? I'm not gonna go too much into that pop culture shit, but yeah, I won't. I went with the Eagles. I feel like this is their revenge game, and they're gonna be motivated to win this game more.
Bro, the Eagles, you need to use the same game plan the Miami Dolphins use, right? They completely took Travis Kelce out of the game a couple weeks ago,
and they have the pieces to do it.
They do have the pieces to do it, right? Like now you added in Kevin Byard as well,
yeah,
right? So like you have that safety. A safety could line up against Travis Kelce, right?
Yeah,
you have decent linebackers, right? They're not like probably the greatest.
Well, the Kobe team's decent.
But like you're gonna double team Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Like there's no
one
else.
They have no wide receiver.
Everyone else, like you could even put Darius Slay on him.
Yeah. Like they have no wide receiver that to the point where one of Bradbury or Slay could
go on Kelce.
1-on-1. No, I'm saying 1-on-1 on the other receivers.
Yeah, they're easily go 1-on-1 and you double team Kelce, right? Like whatever Miami did and the Vic Fangio did on Travis Kelce, Eagles just copy paste that game.
Yeah.
Right there because we saw what Mahomes couldn't do shit in the second half.
And then for me, the Eagles also probably more motivated to win this game.
Rematch, right? Revengeance.
So we both got Eagles by a score probably close. Hopefully it lives up to the hype.
Hopefully a shootout.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Like a 64.
This game could determine Jalen Hurts MVP status.
Like a 64-68 game.
But this game could be Jalen Hurts MVP status game, right?
Yeah, if Jalen Hurts balls out here.
Yeah, because right now it's between him and Lamar. I think at this moment. Very quickly before we move on to baseball, sticking with football, but come north through the border. Let's come to our home country. Upset alert. Montreal Alouettes in the CFL have stunned the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with a late drive. Amazing drive by Cody Fajardo. I just tuned in after, I don't know which game I was watching, but I think it was after one of the, I finished watching Red Zone. And then tuned in and saw Cody Fajardo go nuts in 3 drives and win. So to the point where we're confused that why was Winnipeg kicking a ball like it was rugby?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not even get to that because I have like what the hell is going on there.
Yeah.
But Montreal Alouettes beat the best team in the East, in the Toronto Argonauts, then beat the best team in the West, which is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, to win the Grey Cup.
Blue Bombers obviously getting upset 2 years in a row. Montreal's biggest problem, from what I heard, again, I didn't watch much of the CFL outside of some Lions games, was they beat the bad teams but not the good teams, kind of like how it was like Miami, right? Reason. But in this case, they ended up beating the best teams and got it done. So congrats to the Montreal Alouettes. I think this is the first one since Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah.
But yeah, the CFL season has officially ended. Amr Doman, if you're watching this podcast somehow, or people that are watching this, I know Amr Doman.
Open invitation.
Amr Doman, tag him on Instagram to make it going. By the way, Lakes Lewis, I don't know who you are, Washington reporter, but you keep liking our stories. If you want to hop on the pod, hit us up. Simple as that. But yeah, let's get right into the MLB. Finally we have transactions that happen.
Transactions.
But before we get into those transactions, let's just very quickly, not a surprise. Garrett Cole, AL, Cy Young, unanimous. Kevin Gausman finishing third was a surprise, but that's about it. And NL was Blake Snell, again, not a surprise.
Favored.
On the other side, MVP, first time I think ever we had 2 unanimous MVPs. Makes sense. Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani. Simple as that. Nothing much to get into.
It was obvious.
It was very obvious.
It was over before it began.
Yeah, I think the only debate of an award was NL Manager of the Year.
Yeah, that was the only debate.
That's it. That was
everything else, like everything was locked.
In terms of reports, off the bat, last NFL news, Jets to pursue Devontae Adams in the offseason. Makes sense because he probably wants to get out of the Raiders. And yeah. Let's start off with the news from today. Aran Nola, the first big name in general probably the first name.
First name in general.
First name in general to sign. And it was Philadelphia re-signing Aran Nola to a 7-year deal reportedly worth $172 million. As Jays fans, and from what I'm seeing from Jays reporters, very happy we signed the Kevin Gausman deal like that because it's cheap compared to this.
Yes.
But Aran Nola deserved contract. No, I'm not saying that at all. You said the Yankees were interested.
Yankees were interested. The Braves were interested too, I believe. So if Phillies, you need to get this done, right? Just to get back in the mix for next year. But it's gonna be an issue in a couple of years down the line. If you're gonna be able to pay Zach Wheeler as well, because I think he's a free agent next year or in 2 years.
Yeah, because Aran Nola does not have any opt-out, so you have him 7 years locked up, but he has an NTC, a no trade clause. So if you were to get traded, it's up to him, obviously. He's 30, so 37 will be the last year of his contract.
Good pitcher. They needed to get it done, in my opinion.
Playoff pitcher too, as well.
He's good in the playoffs. Him and Zach Wheeler, 1-2 punch for the Phillies, right? They really needed that. Like, they're co-aces, in my opinion. And the Phillies needed to get this done to reemerge as NL favorites and World Series favorites in general.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through any of these, but a lot of minor league signings happen.
Of course, yeah.
Like minor signings. Guardians traded starting pitcher Cal Quantrill to the Rockies, by the way, for catcher Cody Huff.
Cal Quantrill.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
I've heard of that name. That's a big one. We didn't get a score alert, did we?
Yeah.
That's why, because usually if we're big names like Aran Nola, we got score alerts.
Yeah.
Unless it's Blue Jays related.
Yeah.
But
okay, I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking down. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. I'm gonna talk to you because you are the bigger baseball guy. Cal Quantrill.
For who? Like where?
Rockies catcher Cody Huff.
That's a good trade. Look, Rockies had some good pitching there. Decent pitching there. Cal Quantrill is Canadian.
You guys are gonna watch the Blake pod. I know you guys are. I know you guys support us. But with Blake saying that, like, because of the Bally Sports deals, being like, because they're getting bankrupt and on Diamond Sports, I think, that teams might be, because the salaries won't be coming in.
I think
as
that's
much.
the reason.
So it could be that they're getting rid of pieces for cheap. And
bro,
this is how the Blue Jays will get better as well. That's
a good pickup for the Rockies. I don't know who the catcher is. Cody Huff. But Cal Quantrill, I know, is a good pitcher. He's a Canadian as well.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Injury riddle season, but the year before he was pretty solid.
Okay, if I were you, I would trust you more with me knowing some of these names. Go to your score, MLB, click the transactions. I will let you lead on this because you know this a little bit more. But the other name, I'll bring up is the Soroka trade. While you look at the other names. Braves traded starting pitcher Michael Soroka, infielder Nicky Lopez, infielder Braden Shoemake, starting pitcher Jared Schuster, starting pitcher Riley Goins, to White Sox for just relief pitcher Aaron Bummer. Is Aaron Bummer this good? I don't know. Did the White Sox finesse the Braves that they got rid of Soroka as well? I don't know how much Soroka is making, so there's more to it. I have no clue because there's 3 or 4 starting people and 2 prospects for that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I don't think he was that great this year.
Bummer,
yeah.
I mean, the White Sox sucked in general.
Yeah, White Sox. White Sox,
sorry.
No, I said White Caps.
Oh.
You were good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, White Sox suck. Like, what the hell do they have to trade other than Dylan Cease and Luis
they're
Robert?
looking to trade him. Anyways. Yeah. Dylan Cease, to be exact. But yeah, look through that. Do you see any other big names there?
Not really.
Outside of Cal Quantrill?
Yeah, not really that, caught my eye. Like, Cal Quantrill caught my eye. But other ones are, just, decent role players that are getting moved.
These are all trades, though. Yeah. No one really signed as well. Like, none of the big names signed. Let's talk about the Jays then, very quickly. In this, two things that came out of the Jays talk. One, they're going hard for Matt Chapman. As a Jays fan, do you think they're gonna give him George Springer money? Because I don't think he deserves George Springer money. George Springer deserved his money from us at the time.
No, not at all. Definitely. If you ever do that, be like, you guys are really, really missing the ball here, right? Really, really swinging and missing here. If you're putting it into baseball terms, because that's what Matt Chapman does. Matt Chapman swings and misses.
His name is the one that is like literally on wants to avoid.
He is one to avoid, right?
To like, big money to elite defenseman. We all acknowledge
like
that.
I think he's like a one where like I think he might need like. I mean, I feel like there will be a team that would offer him a fat contract
because his defense is elite,
it's
and
elite.
he deserves
it
money.
Is.
Half the money he'll get is strictly of the defense.
Yeah,
it depends on half of that money. Is the half the money worth the offense?
You pay him for the defense, but you can't pay him for the defense and offense.
Like yes, he had like 20 plus home runs the first year with the Jays. Last year
swung and missed a lot,
but
struck
outside
out
of
a
the
lot.
first month,
struck out a lot.
Yeah, outside of the first month, yeah, we don't know. Jays are obviously going after big bats. I don't know why they're gonna view Chapman as a big bat unless they're willing to spend money everywhere and go nuts.
Just let the bank loose.
Let the bank loose, because it was disappointing for sure, right? So
100% disappointing.
Like I'm banking on a Vladdy comeback season. Like not say 2021.
I'm not banking on that.
Huh?
I'm not banking on Vladdy.
No, but like you so if you were to pick, will Vladdy be the same or will he come back a little bit to what he was in 2021? Like I'm banking on Vladdy to be better than he was last year.
Okay, yeah, you could say that.
That's what I mean.
You can't say like anything to 2021. You can't.
Fine,
bank
2022 Vladdy.
You can't bank on that. Kind of, yeah. You could say that, but like,
because 2022 Vladdy is way better than 2021.
But the thing is, you can't even afford him to be like 2020. You need him to be 2021. Yeah. That's the issue here. Like Vladdy needs to be 2021 Vladdy again in order for this team to win.
What did Blake say? But when we asked him the Vladdy
Blake's
question?
like, I think we asked him, do you pay him? He's like, not really, especially.
No. Before that, I was like, do you think this is a true Vladdy? And I think he said
he said no. He's like, he should be better. And then he thinks
said he knows he's better than this.
He knows he's better than this. We've seen it. Yeah. Type of thing, right?
He's like, he doesn't believe that this is a true Vladdy. The true Vladdy will be between 2021 and 2022, essentially.
No, he's like, no, that's what he's projecting to be this year.
Yeah.
But like, otherwise, he has faith in Vladdy. Obviously, like we're not gonna. Like, I have faith in Vladdy too, but like, I'm not gonna throw him away from nothing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's 2 rough seasons for him in a row.
Yeah. Last big news of baseball that has come out and it's official. Oakland sports fans look away because you already lost your football team, you lost your basketball team because they moved to San Francisco, and now you've officially lost your baseball team. Major League Baseball owners voted Thursday to allow the Oakland Athletics to move to Vegas, paving the way for baseball's second relocation in the past half century. I think the first one was the Expos moved to Washington. I think that's
the Nationals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could be wrong with that, but there's no other one that comes to my mind.
So is it going to be the Las Vegas Athletics?
So I think next year they're still Oakland. Now, is anyone going to show up?
No one's showing up.
Because like they still have the arena or the stadium for one more year, if I'm not mistaken. This is a question we should have asked Blake. How come we forgot to ask him about this?
Yeah, we did. Wow, we messed up there.
But I think after that they have to play in the like minor league ballparks because their stadium ain't gonna be ready till like 28, I believe.
Oh wow!
So 2025, 2026, and 2027 they might have to play in Vegas's or even Oakland's like minor league ballparks or something.
That's a long time.
And if I'm Oakland, why would I show up to games next year, right?
Why would
Unless they come for one game, one specific game, go find the cheapest ticket. Don't even like showcase anything. Just get it. Early tickets. Pick a game as like an Oakland like Reddit page or something, and just be like, okay, we're coming to this game. Give them one last hurrah. That's it.
Their last game of the season will be the big one.
I'm not even saying do that because that seems obvious. Pick a random games with the owners.
I know, but I'm saying like,
because they could just jack up the ticket prices, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, like, but like, what if you book it? I don't think you could.
The only way the stadium is gonna get sold is like if like the Angels play there or like San Francisco Giants are playing there for that one game. That's the only way their stadium's gonna get sell out with visitor fans.
The away team, yeah.
Yeah, with the visitor fans, right? It's too late. Like they can't even protest anymore.
It's already done.
Yeah, so like they can't even. The protest is not gonna work anymore.
Yeah, I feel bad.
I do too, 100%.
Moneyball was legit.
Like Oakland moved to Vegas Raiders. Now we all know that Vegas is getting a basketball team, men's basketball team to be exact, because they already have the Aces there. But whether that be relocation or expansion doesn't matter. Vegas already got a hockey team. The sports betting stuff, obviously, a lot of hypocrisy there when it comes to the betting side of things. But yeah, Oakland, farewell. I know you guys had some great teams back in the day. From what I hear stories of, you guys had actually a good team a couple of years ago. Literally a couple of years ago.
A few years ago, yeah.
The last Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien years. With the guy in the Braves now.
Matt Olson,
and like
Sean
Chris
Murphy.
Bassett.
Chris Bassett was there.
Yeah. Stephen Voigt, right? The new manager, the Guardians' new manager.
Yeah,
Voigt.
yeah.
He was there, I believe. But yeah, rest in peace, Oakland. Baseball.
Rest in peace, Oakland baseball.
Hopefully you guys can make it up somehow, because your stadium was shit though, from what I heard.
It was.
Like the owners didn't care. They were dead set on moving to Vegas.
Yeah.
They already moved Raiders to Vegas, so it made sense at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, last couple of things, the non-tenders. The big name I believe we saw was Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah, that is because of injury. That's not because of ability.
Yeah,
Because he was arguably
he was gonna get
him
paid.
and Burns is like arguably like a top there in like the 1-2 punch in rotation.
Yeah,
When it comes to just when it comes to when they're like good, like when they're on it, like Burns and Woodruff are up there in their 1-2 punches.
Do you know if he's out the full year?
I'm not sure about that, but he was missed. They needed him. They missed him in the Arizona series because
Yeah.
the Diamondbacks got to Corbin Burns. Brandon Woodruff would have been the main guy that would saved you.
So his stats were 46 and 26, 3.10 ERA, 7.88 strikeouts. That's his stats.
That's good stats. That's genuinely good stats.
No, I'm gonna just double check if he's out for the year. So he signed a 1-year deal last year at 10.8, which is one of those I think, arbitration type
Arbitration,
things.
yeah.
So he had shoulder surgery recently, October 13. And
shoulder surgery is
expecting him to miss most of the year though.
Yeah.
So now, if you're a team, for example, Jays fans, Chad Green deal. Now, granted, that's a relief pitcher, so elevate the money a little bit. Do you sign like a 2-year deal and hope he comes back the first year, and then bank or like an option, right? Like how they did with Chad Green, the Jays.
A club option, yeah.
Club option or whatever, and then have him for the next year. Like
I
if I'm the
think-
Jays, I would do that. But if I'm any other team, like the Dodgers, do it.
Dodgers
Need to do it.
Dodgers
Orioles need to do it. Arizona should do it. Like those are the teams that need pitching. The Dodgers mainly, because if you get Shohei, he ain't pitching next year.
He's not, yeah.
So this is a perfect cheap one temporary deal. Then maybe extend him what he deserves afterwards, right? So
I
the
mean,
Dodgers are the team I'm looking at.
And to
for
be
this
fair
year.
to him, like, yes, he's been producing good numbers for the Brewers, but like that's the only deal he'll be able to get,
Yeah.
right? Like he's not gonna get anything. Like he should, and I believe in him that like like those prove it deals that like Simeon was on, and all these guys, like Bellinger, who's probably gonna get a massive amount of money now. I think he'll be able to like elevate his stock when those 2 years or a year and a half technically, because he'll be out for the first half of the season.
Now,
for sure.
the Jays might be looking for a pitcher, and it could be Woodruff now because news came out this morning that rival executives believe that Jays are open to trading Manoah. I don't disagree with the fact that they're willing to trade Manoah, but I feel like last year, I do believe that's a blip. Now, do I think he's going to be Cy Young caliber? Maybe not, like how you said about Vladdy, but something in between, right? Maybe like his first 1 or 2 years, how it was, right? Last year was definitely brutal. I don't know how much stuff is going on behind the scenes because, getting relegated. Getting essentially he did get relegated.
He got cut.
Cut means he was a free agent. I mean, like he got demoted.
Demoted, yeah.
Right. So this is from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic too, so it's a big name. I still think you keep him. Right. You got to see the true value.
You can't.
If it's a money issue, you keep him, and if you trade him at its highest value.
The thing with this one is you can't settle for him.
Yeah.
Right? Like he should be a valuable piece that should bring you something because he's so young still and he's shown that level that he could pitch at. But at the same time, it's kind of at a difficult spot, especially what he did this past year, basically.
So the Blue Jays will be selling Manoah at a low point, but with the 25-year-old still pre-ARB eligible, there would be likely a strong market. So
That's
I know
why.
off camera we were talking about this. You believe you'll have a strong market. I still can't see that.
It's difficult, right? Because like he has been so good.
Yeah.
Like this is his first year, his rookie year. He killed it when he came in. Freaking 6 shutout inning against the Yankees.
Yeah.
In his first debut game in Yankee Stadium. Second year, Cy Young candidate. Third year, yes, we hope it's a blip.
Yeah.
So
So-
the value is there, the youth is there, the money is gonna be there because it's pre-arb,
Yeah.
right? So the value should be there. His stock should be still good enough. It just matters about how much the other execs are gonna look at his past year's performance, and I don't think that should factor in too much.
If you have a top pitching coach like Pete Walker in another team, they should probably bring him in for sure. They'll recommend that because Ross Atkins did say that. First of all, he came in shape. No, not came in shape. He looked like he was out of shape.
He was out of shape, bro.
I'm talking about right now when pictures came out. He looked in shape, like Vladdy, how he lost weight the first year from the 2021 year, right? He's saying that Atkins saying that last month received injections on his shoulder to relieve discomfort because there's a lot of shoulder issues he had, but he said there was not any structural damage to it. He got it on his own. Kevin Gosman on the Foul Territory pod said last week that Manoah arrived to spring training with a shoulder issue and never got in a good spot with his arm and mechanics. Atkins has publicly stated that Manoah has not asked for a trade, so there's a lot of rumors with that. He does feel like I do feel like he has earned already the right to have a strong leg up in the competition, a la Yusei Kikuchi last year. We'll see what happens in the preseason, because again, we don't know which version of Barrios we're gonna get. We're hoping what we got last year, right?
Okay, Barrios was a blip.
That's one.
His
So
struggle.
we're hoping that now this will be the year to prove
because
that.
he's proven many times with Minnesota that he's a
Minnesota. Key thing is
top class-
Toronto now.
top class pitcher. He's proven in his first year in Toronto that he's really good.
Half year that he played. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm
fine
hoping.
with
I'm
Barrios.
just hoping we go from that.
I'm fine with Barrios. I'm fine with Gosman. I'm fine with Bassett. Kikuchi, yes, there's still. I'm a little bit concerned about because he hasn't really proven it before
So here's
as much. Manoah,
we have to
I
see
still have faith in him.
because no one.
I wouldn't trade him.
Okay, so here's the thing: we need if we trade him for whatever reason, and we don't sign, we have to sign a pitcher at that point. We know that because there's a lot of good pitching arms out there. But Ricky Tiedemann, how much are the Blue Jays you think are banking on Ricky Tiedemann to come up and do what Manoah and Nate Pearson from what he started before he got injured did?
Double A is too far still. It's
Is
still
he on AAA now?
but then he also had injuries that like kind of.
Yeah, I think he moved to AAA now.
near the end.
Wasn't he AFL MVP or something? Was it him or someone else?
That was him.
Yeah, so Arizona Fall League MVP
Arizona
right there.
Fall League, yeah. It's not gonna be at the beginning of the year.
Oh, for sure.
It's gonna be like a Manoah mid-season call-up. type
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not saying that he'll be.
And that's
making
only gonna happen if like
injuries happen.
Gosman goes down or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but you won't be surprised. Like, would you be surprised if Ricky Tiedemann comes in at some point next year, though?
I'm hoping not. Reason being
Let him develop another year,
that, but like
and we have a healthy pitching staff.
the reason being I want a healthy pitching staff.
Yeah,
Right.
but you wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up. Let's just say Manoah. This is the not true Manoah, but he still struggles, or Kikuchi struggles again.
Then yeah.
All right.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Ricky Tiedemann and see
Yeah,
what
he
he
is.
is. Can't believe we missed him in Vancouver.
We did.
It's like when we went, he just
Like,
got called up.
Just got called up. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have to be lucky to also see him, but Aran Nola, maybe it's you.
Maybe it's your turn. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for baseball right now. So we'll go into a couple of quick fire. The rest is kind of quick fire, but very
Rest is
quickly.
quick fire. Yeah.
Let's get into the NBA. First off, Draymond Green is officially suspended 5 games. We've already talked about it. We've already talked about it with Blake Murphy. We've talked about which WWE move he'll get suspended with next.
Exactly.
So you guys could comment down below if it's the leg lock, if it's the attitude adjustment by Blake Murphy, or RKO/suplex by you.
Yeah.
He also put a stunner in that clip, by the way. So who knows?
Well, that was photoshopped. A stunner is legit. A stunner is a good.
That
good
one,
shout.
I could see that.
A stunner is a good show. Yeah, it's just not gonna be like any of those high flying moves. Like he's not gonna do a 619.
Oh yeah, wait, how
Yeah.
would he do the 6-1?
Like if he's on the announcer table, you know where you sub in.
But even then,
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's
he,
not like
he can't really set up for that.
Also, let's just react to NBA again, or weekly NBA reactions. In-season tournaments are kind of coming to a close. We don't know any locks for the next round, but we know teams that are eliminated. I think like the Clippers and the Clippers are a big name to be eliminated this early. James Harden, first win, hit a classic James Harden step back 3 on the Houston Rockets on Friday. Speaking of the Clippers, though, Westbrook has come out and told coaching staff he's willing to come off the bench, which is a big step, which is what will save Westbrook's career, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's fitting well with the Clippers, in my opinion. I think he really will excel in that situation.
But now with Harden on the team, obviously his role diminishes.
A little bit, yeah.
This will also help him career-wise because he's only signed a 1 year, $4 million contract.
As well,
So
yeah.
if this helps him, a la kind of Dennis Schroeder style, in a way, not to that extreme though. Whatever team in the future that needs a true point guard, whether that be the Suns even, could help him out that way. I still think he's a good player. I don't hate on the guy, but I just feel like at times his attitude issues kind of piss me off. Like last year, he didn't want to come off the bench, right? So, and it's just shooting. It's just shooting that pisses
He's
me off.
learned. He's
learning. That's the key
I
thing.
have faith in him now.
He's learning now.
I didn't have faith in him last year, but like in that what he did against the Phoenix Suns, brought me back faith in Westbrook. Even though they lost 4-1.
But rest of the NBA season though, very quickly, Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. How much time are you giving them to be like a top 5 duo soon?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, this year, next year, Chet's third year.
Yeah.
There's a sophomore slump. It's real. Like I experienced it with Scotty Barnes. It's real.
Well, Luka didn't really have it.
Well, Luka's different, man. Luka's actually
Chet
different.
could be that guy too.
Huh?
Chet could be that guy.
Hey, Luka's different. Chet's still American. Luka's not. All right.
Your squad's a 6-7 right now.
What expected?
Outside looking in, kind of, but you're tied with other things. Orlando doing Orlando things, 8-5. Miami's kind of shutting me up a little bit, 8-5.
I was confident in Miami.
Well, hey, they could still drop off. Who knows?
So can your Pacers.
The Bucks 9-4.
So can your Pacers.
They already did. They're 7-5 now.
They did.
They're 7th seed now.
They already dropped off.
Yeah.
What the
They
hell?
got their ass kicked today.
Wow.
But the Magic destroyed them. I think at least when I was watching, they were destroying them.
Halliburton, what's going on?
Yeah, they're 7-5 now.
Yeah.
But they pretty much flip flopped with the Bucks. Bucks are now 9-4. The Sixers are 10-3, and the Celtics are 11-2. So the Bucks are kind of
as expected. They're the top 3 teams in the East.
Yeah. Obviously the Magic should fall. The teams that are currently out of the playoffs or out of the play-in, that doesn't. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
They're out of the plans.
No, they're in the play-in. Sorry.
Okay.
They're in the play-ins. I'm just looking at the playoff. Anyone that's out of the playoffs, I'm surprised that the Pistons are still 2-12. They're on a.
They're bad.
They're on
very
a 6.
bad.
They're on an 11-game
The
losing
Raptors
streak.
dropped 142 on them.
They're on an 11-game losing streak. That team.
The Raptors dropped 142.
Yeah.
The Raptors offense.
Yeah.
Right.
They're on an 11-game losing streak right now. So they're 2-12. Washington's ahead of them only because they have less losses, though. Right?
Yeah.
Charlotte is where they expected them to be.
All right, Washington is done.
So bad. They already reported that they want to trade Jordan Poole. No one ain't taking that contract anymore.
Nobody is taking that.
The Warriors, the Poole should think they want the championship and give him a contract.
Yeah.
Right? Again, the biggest Levine. Did we talk about it last time? We did, right?
We did. We mentioned
so
Levine.
we don't need to go into that much. They're going to be the biggest seller. So there goes that.
So the East is kind of shaping up how we expected it to be a little bit, except for probably Orlando and Cleveland.
Should flip flop in my opinion. The Pacers I had 6th or 7th in my prediction.
Yeah,
anyway.
but like so they're shaping up as expected, as we expected.
Atlanta's at 6-6 right now, but yeah,
so it's too early to tell, right? Everyone has like similar.
It's
records.
kind of starting to shape up in a way.
Yeah, but the West.
Let's go to the West.
What is the West? Denver up there makes sense.
Well, yeah,
makes sense.
Your number 1 seed are the Minnesota Timberwolves at 9-3.
Wait, they're ahead of Denver too?
Their number 2 seed is the OKC Thunder at 10-4. The number 3 seed is the Denver Nuggets at 9-4. So by win percentage, they're 750.
Okay, so they haven't played enough games.
Yeah, they're half a game back.
They're half a game back. But yeah, no, Minnesota. One of the coaches that we thought would have been fired this year was Chris Finch.
Yes,
but Anthony Edwards has propelled himself into a top 10 player this year.
They're the best.
Based off this year, he's playing like a top 10
right
player.
now, he could be an MVP conversation.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Obviously, you have the Jokic and the Embiid and the Luka. Luka's back in the conversation again because last year he struggled.
So, what was I gonna say? Minnesota is the best defensive team in the NBA right now. Makes sense. Rudy Gobert. As much as I'm not a big fan of him, but you can't take away his rim protecting ability. Cat is still the question mark. Can you still deal off Cat and help with other pieces in a way? Maybe. But OKC being second, I didn't think they were going to be second, but I think they were going to be them and the Pacers are the big jump teams of this year. And Hey, Shea is that dude.
He is killing.
I'm
it.
happy he's Canadian. Someone tweeted this, and I agree with it. I'm very
We're
happy
very
he's
happy.
Canadian.
Very, very happy.
Because
he's
like
Canadian.
that trade to OKC was the best thing to happen because also Chris Paul was on that team.
Yeah, Chris Paul mentoring him in his second year. He was really good in his rookie year, helping the Clippers make the playoffs
Yeah.
in the first place. And then Chris Paul mentor year in the second year. And then obviously the OKC is going to have a lot of young talent around him. So kind of helps him out there too.
So the rest of the this one has more surprises than in the East.
100%.
4 Kings, okay, not too surprising because they were kind of there last year. Dallas 9-5, kind of dropped off from the beginning of the year.
Still there though.
6th, they're the Lakers now at 8-6. 7th are the Houston Rockets, kind of shutting us up more. Because you were like
They'll fall back down.
yeah. They're 6-5. The Phoenix Suns are now 7-6. Shit though because Bradley Beal's out for 3 more weeks. So we ain't seen the big 3 play yet.
The trio has not played together one game.
Pelicans are 6-7, and the Warriors are on a 6-game losing streak. So they started off 6-2. They're now 6-8.
Yeah, Steph being injured.
Steph was injured, big key for that.
And
for
then
sure.
they lost
Now they're losing
Draymond.
Draymond Green to temper issues, and yeah. Clippers 4-7. We knew that was a 6-game losing streak there, but I think they'll swap with the Rockets off the
They'll
bat.
find a way.
And how surprised are you Memphis is still 3-10 though? Like I knew they were gonna be like with Ja out, I thought they would still be like 500.
Play-in.
I thought they would be 500.
It's been the play-in still.
Yeah, they're 3-10 with the Portland being 3-10 and the Spurs also 3-10.
I think it might be too far back, Dylan Brooks is clearly not the issue, I guess.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is shout out Dylan Brooks. The guy's shooting the 3-ball like he's still playing for Team Canada right now.
It's the villain role. He is the true villain.
Yeah.
Play LeBron. Almost. What if he made that shot today? Yeah, Dylan Brooks he would have shot the NBA up for like at least 2 days. Because Dylan Brooks
it was way off when you look at the replay.
Yeah,
because the angle we see on TV is always a side angle, so it looked like, oh, is it gonna go in or not? And yeah,
it was straight back, but obviously it was way off.
Yeah,
but if he made that shot though, that drama, the shit talk, that man would have shot on everyone.
Yeah,
in his press conference.
Yeah, but like right now, do you buy that the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder will be 1-2 for like
1-2? No, but playoff teams, yes.
Like you won't be now based on what the season has gone so far. Early on, very early still, that they would be like, let's just say 4-5 by the time playoffs come.
Very possible because we don't know what those Suns are.
The Timberwolves are still a team that they did this kind of last year, didn't they? Where they just fell off eventually.
Yeah, they did.
So that could still be.
But
the
that was
case
also
here.
like
they're obviously
Cat was injured for like 40 games.
Yeah,
that's
but
when
Cat's not an issue this year.
This year is a different
story.
This year,
if Anthony Edwards goes down, they're missing the playoffs.
They're done. They're finished.
Right? So
they can't have him.
They have no offense then.
They can't afford for him to go down.
Yeah. We'll probably do power rankings for NHL and NBA soon, but let's get to the NHL very quickly. Canucks, as you mentioned. As you can tell, we added a little piece here on YouTube, so audio. Guys, go check over on the YouTube.
The new partner.
Ovechkin.
A third member of the BTR podcast. Alexander Ovechkin has joined us.
People are probably cringing because this should not be unboxed. We got this for like $11. That's all I'm going to say. You don't need to know from where.
But don't worry about that.
Don't need to worry about our sources here, but... Because the box said like 1,000 out of whatever. But I'm the type of guy to like open shit like this. Now that I learned something, if there's more from where you got this from for cheap, then yes, go buy it. And then we'll try it, get the resale market going.
The only reason...
we wanted it for this. Mainly.
For set purposes.
Yeah, for set purposes. Looks sick though.
It does look pretty sick.
Kind of looks backwards though, that's the only problem. Maybe that's why it's like $11, but...
I could see the Russian in this action figure.
But no, let's get to the league. NHL Canucks very quickly. 2-game losing streak. Not
2-game losing streak. You went on a 2-game losing streak against Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, and after that you went on a heater.
6-game win streak, I think.
A heater. So, am I concerned? No. Am I getting a little bit scared? Potentially.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna overreact. This is our team, right?
But
because we don't know what to make of this team.
Talkis said it best, but like I kind of disagreed a little bit because Talkis said, if you lose one, you don't make it two. Like good teams don't make it two. Yeah. My opinion is like good teams don't make it
like 5,
3, 4.
Yeah.
Right. Like the next game is a perfect game. You're playing the San Jose Sharks. Right. If you lose that game, then
we're in trouble.
Then you play Colorado.
Yeah,
so
the Kings...
It could easily become 4.
Sticking with that division, the Kings have 2 games in hand and they're only at 23 points. The most underrated and under-talked about team. So we'll talk about them now.
Yeah, the LA Kings. Quentin Byfield is finally coming into his own. right?
Cam Talbot.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
The trade's looking decent.
Trade's
now.
looking decent. Cam Talbot is having an incredible year.
Yeah.
The goalie was a genuine question mark for them. Drew Doughty's still Drew Doughty. Anze Kopitar still Anze Kopitar. I don't even know if we're going to see Brant Clark get called up or not because they're playing so well.
Let me check if he is called up, but no. Yeah, he isn't because you still have Vladislav Gavrikov there too, killing it. So.
Yeah, Gavrikov, their trade deadline piece from last year.
Yeah, their division is kind of heating up to what it's gonna be now. Now, I still think the Ducks will drop. The Kraken are 18 points now. I still think Edmonton's gonna make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says at this point.
Like it's Pacific Division is getting a little bit tougher now. Yeah, Vegas. You have the Canucks. You have the Kings. You have
the
Kraken. I'm still gonna consider them.
Oilers.
The Oilers. I'll still consider.
Flames. You could kind of write off
there,
but yeah,
I could write off. The Sharks.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And then we don't know what the Ducks are. We don't know.
Leo Carlson's having a good rookie year.
Exactly. And they still have good pieces like Zegras, Troy Terry, Jamie Drysdale. Yeah. Right? They still have John Gibson, but they have a rookie goalie who's also might be outperforming him. So...
Yeah. The Calgary's the only one I won't be surprised if they kind of get going a little bit either because it's Calgary. But...
genuinely, if...
Calgary's on a heater too.
If someone some of these teams go on some heaters, like Oilers and stuff, they're back in the mix. Yeah. Right, the only team that's really out is Sharks.
Yeah, that's it. That's given. That was a given.
Yeah.
Going up a division right now, Dallas is first. So my predictions there kind of look right. It's Dallas.
You know what's a funny thing?
Colorado and Winnipeg are the top three.
You know what's funny thing about Colorado?
Yeah.
They lose bad, but the thing is they also win big, I guess. Yeah, they don't win bad. You can't. Yeah. So that's why people might not be concerned about Colorado because of that reason. The different if it was they're winning 3-2 and losing 7-0, then it's a cause for concern. But
the concern in this division is the Minnesota Wild. They're the 6th seed in the division, right? St. Louis is ahead of them by 5 points. No one thought that.
St. Louis is having decent.
Arizona's 4 points ahead, and Arizona was a weird team to root for. Wild at 5-8-4, not great, right? I don't know how Kaprizov's doing.
Not great at all.
But
yeah, the cap is really crunching them, I guess.
Yeah.
And then East.
Let's go. I'm gonna go up in order. We'll finish off with the Atlantic. Metropolitan. Philly's still second. Right? That's so surprising. The other surprising thing is our boy right here.
You almost knocked him out.
Not really. I just touched a stick.
Well, he started wobbling.
Because it's on the... Look at the tilt it's on.
Oh, this guy trying to get off the thing.
Washington's third at 9-4-2. And the thing is, this guy doesn't have many goals. Ovechkin.
Not many at all.
Right? And he's at 5 goals now and 7 assists at 15 games. Usually he's probably at 9 goals by now. 9-10. Yeah, he's older. We know that. But you had them completely written off.
Yes.
So far.
Yes.
So far they're shutting you up.
Yes.
Because New Jersey's at 6th. So if you want to hear the standings, it's Rangers, Philly, Washington, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Devils, Islanders, Jackets.
Wow.
And we thought the Jackets are going to be much better than this, too, as well, based on the pieces they added, right? With Damon Severson, Provorov. Yeah. Johnny Gaudreau is getting...
he's bad.
Yeah, and then Patrick Laine got scratched today.
So Columbus is still Columbus.
Yeah.
So it's Columbus.
Devils, though, at 8-7-1. Now, Jack Hughes is back.
That'll help.
And he scored already.
Yeah, so
he's probably back an MVP favorite.
They had a blip last year early on. There's probably a blip again. Once they go on a heater, no one's gonna catch them.
Because we expect Philly and Washington to drop and to take their spots to Devils and Carolina, and Pittsburgh to be 4th.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We'll see how that goes. Ending now, the Atlantic Division is kind of coming to form.
Yes.
Boston is still first. Now I'm saying not our predictions because we were wrong right now.
But Boston's
first. Florida's second. Maple Leafs are third and Lightning are fourth.
Makes sense.
For many teams, that was a top 4. We had Boston out for...
Just for ambitious.
Yeah, we had Boston out
just
for
Buffalo. Just to change it up. Just to mix it up.
Red Wings now dropped to 5th because they were the heater team right now early on. Buffalo's at 6th. And then Ottawa and Montreal are tied for 7 and 8. Yeah, so Montreal came down to earth too.
It's kind of normal.
Yeah. Ottawa swept the Sweden series.
Nothing too surprising there, in my opinion.
And then the big thing is, though, are the Canucks leading? Yes, they are. Still, 3 Canucks are at 28 points each. And then you have Kucherov at 27, Pasternak at 27. But the surprising thing, a little bit, Kyle Connor leading the league in goals at 14 right now.
That as well. He's been
I'm
on
not
a heater.
surprised. He's underrated for sure.
He's been on a heater.
He's been underrated for a while.
Yeah.
I like Kyle Connor as a player.
Kyle Connor's a good player. Very good player.
And right now, tied with second is Kucherov, Matthews, Reinhart, Besser. But you know who's one goal behind those guys?
JT Miller.
Sidney Crosby.
Oh.
But JT.
Yeah, those are the stats. Obviously, Canucks are dominating the stats sheets, but let's see if they're going to dominate the wins. And hopefully they dominate the Sharks today. And we'll see what happens there.
Look at the assists.
It's wild. It's wild. Yeah.
It's like 4 out of the 5 are Canucks.
The top
other guy being Cale Makar.
So
so that's the NHL weekly update for you guys. Make sure you guys check out the year. It's still going on. We'll get rankings
still early
soon.
and all that stuff. But let's move on to soccer. And we'll start off with
just get rid of the U17s very quickly.
U17s quick styles.
Check out the Peter Galindo pod. We talked about it more, but very quickly, the last time we talked to you guys, I think they had the Molly game to play. Obviously, they got destroyed by Molly 5-1 by the time this comes out. Jeevan's already back home, which is a funny part.
Yeah.
So, but check, like, again, disappointing. Our very quick thoughts, though. The development needs work, right?
It does.
Simple as that. The camps aren't there. We've echoed it a lot. Now, watching a U17 tournament properly, because obviously we had the incentive to watch it as well. Outside of 4 guys, no, in our eyes, there wasn't. This is, again, everything's our opinion. This is not. No one has told us anything. And you could, clearly by the Peter Galindo pod, you could tell that we share the same sentiments. That like development needs to be made.
Coaching's not good enough.
Coach isn't good enough.
Not good enough.
The camps aren't good enough. The lack of them. Now, yes, funding's the issue. Figure that out. That's all I gotta say. Right?
There's nothing much else to say about like. It's the same issues coming again and again. We saw in the Women's World Cup. We saw in the actual Men's World Cup, and yeah.
Well, not even the World Cup, because like with the men's Japan, the first Japan game.
Men's Japan game, yeah. As
but
well.
now, obviously, with Jamaica,
big win there. Tuesday's the next
close to qualifying for the Copa America, which is massive.
Yeah, but moving on to probably
the biggest story in soccer world.
Biggest story in soccer. Everton, out of all the teams to get deducted 10 points for financial
one charge, by the way.
For one charge, is Everton.
Yeah. Now, did it spend big a little bit for their standards? Now, to be honest with you, we got to do our research more on this FFP rules, how they work, because it isn't like a traditional salary cap either, right?
But without research, I'm pretty confident that Manchester City has not been following these FFP rules.
115 charges.
Exactly.
So if they got 10 points, Manchester City should be kicked out of Europe and then like relegated almost to the other relegation. So
they go back to England. They go to English League One.
Chelsea's also in trouble too here.
Chelsea is too. They spend about $1 billion in January this year actually.
So Everton was handed the biggest sporting sanction in Premier League's 31-year history, by the way, on Friday, for breaching a company's financial rules with a deduction of 10 points, dropping the team into the next to last place in the standings. Now, they were always going to be battling relegation anyways. This just might make it impossible for them to get out. So, which means one of the promoted teams will be safe, most likely.
And it's probably going to be Burnley.
And then the club was found by an independent commissioner to have made...
Canucks are falling off, man.
made a loss of £124.5 million, which is $155 million. Over 3 years up to the end of the 2021-2022 season, the league's profit and financial sustainability rules allow clubs to lose a maximum of $130 million over 3-year period or face sanctions.
So
they fall 14 points to 4 with immediate effect. Yeah.
The immediate effect. They're in relegation. One charge. They got screwed over. And yeah, you guys could check out the report as well. Like
both Manchester City and reportedly Chelsea have been accused by the league of various breaches of regulations.
They've been accused every time, so
yeah.
nothing happens to them. 2
clubs, Middlesbrough and Portsmouth, have received points deductions in the Premier League since its inaugural season in '92, which is probably why Portsmouth dropped a lot then. Because I remember Portsmouth was decent in the 2000s, late 2000s as well.
But yeah, you guys could check out the report too. Like, we're not gonna say the whole thing, right? So, if you want to have full detail, you can Google it.
So just to check where the standings are, you said Burnley's safe. It's actually Luton Town.
Luton not safe?
So Luton Town's out of relegation now with 6 points. Sheffield's at 5. Everton's now tied with Burnley at 4.
Wait, Burnley and Everton?
Burnley's 1 win only.
Burnley's last place?
Burnley has 1 win.
I thought Sheffield was last place.
No, they have 5. They're 1 point ahead.
Oh, wow. Never mind. Luton.
Burnley, you disrespected Luton.
I disrespected Luton.
You just thought it was like company. Oh yeah, they might be decent.
No, I thought Sheffield was like dead last.
No.
That's what
Sheffield's 1-2-9. Burnley's 1-1-10.
Oh, wow.
And then Everton, with the math on my top of my head, was 12 plus 2, 14 points.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, I guess I read that.
That is math.
So they did.
You are right. 12
Everton
plus 2
dropped
is 14.
from 14th to now 19th.
12 plus 2 is 14, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the soccer news for now.
Yeah, we covered like the surprises in the Peter Galindo podcast, so just check that out.
We're not gonna talk much soccer this week just because
one news we gotta talk about.
It was all on the Galindo podcast.
One news we gotta talk about we didn't talk about there because it happened this weekend. Norway is not part of the Euros anymore.
Like they're eliminated.
They're eliminated.
I thought, like the way you word it is like they're not part of Europe. Like
Oh no, they're not part of the Euros. They're not part of the Euros.
No, that's on their star players, Odegaard and Holland. You gotta get the job done.
Right?
There's no excuse
because
for
like it's a Euros. It's not the World Cup.
It's not the World Cup. Yeah.
Bale led them to the World Cup, let alone Euros as well.
Yeah. Figure it out.
And Ibra with Sweden.
No excuse. Messi's a Ballon d'Or winner. This proves it.
How much? Okay, so there's a lot of people I'm seeing now, like troll football and all that. They're bringing it up. The Euro qualifiers are a joke. The qualifiers through Europe are a joke, right? And this proves that CONMEBOL is the hardest qualifying.
It is like what
out of all the things.
You have to be top 4
for World Cup. You have to be top 4.
And
I think everybody gets Copa America if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but now with the new thing with the Canada,
yeah, that's different. Involved. But like you get top 4,
and the fifth battles for Confederation playoffs. I believe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. So that is tough to make. Like you have Uruguay, you have Argentina, Brazil. Peru's no joke.
No, they suck now though.
Huh? Well, based when they were then.
Yeah.
Right, they were no joke.
But still, Ecuador's decent.
I'm missing Colombia.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough.
Shout out Luis Diaz. His dad is released. I don't think we mentioned this.
Yeah.
And he scored 2 goals.
Still balling.
For Colombia. Still balling.
His dad
was emotional, obviously, after the game.
Yeah.
So yeah. But going back to it, if you look at now, let's just say if Messi accepted the Spain offer to be playing for Spain instead of Argentina, how much of a head in goals do you think he's going to be? Because Lukaku got 4 goals today. France won 14-0 or something like that.
Gibraltar, yeah.
Yeah, so like, do you think Messi ain't gonna pop off any of the against those guys?
He will, like genuinely.
So how much do you think is like Ronaldo's stats are screwed? And I'm not disrespecting Ronaldo here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that
because it's not Ronaldo's fault. He's
freaking
Portuguese.
The point we're trying to make is Europe has shittier teams than South America.
Because people
they may have some better teams, like the Spains, the Englands, whatever.
The elite are the elite.
But after that, it's a fall off. Yeah. Right? Whereas South America, right?
You have like six,
anyone could win, right? Like 7 teams.
I won't say anyone, but like 6 to 7.
Like I don't give Gibraltar a chance against France, whereas I might give Peru or Paraguay a chance against
Argentina,
a Uruguay or a Colombia or Argentina.
Right. You lost my train of thought now. Because I was about to say something. What was it? Yeah, I forgot.
All right, guys, that's the podcast. That's the end of that episode.
How much? Oh no, because people are about to people always like to compare the tournaments. They don't look at the qualifiers for anything, right? Because people are saying, oh, well, Messi's playing in the Copas. That's so much easier when he won the first one. Whereas Ronaldo, now, don't get me wrong, Portugal winning the Euros is a big story. We fan Ronaldo. We're United fans for a reason. But they're saying that the Euros are harder. So, yes, as a tournament whole, you could argue that, sure.
But the qualifying
process ain't...
You're already there.
You're there.
Yeah.
I get it. Copa, you don't qualify for, I guess.
And even with the qualifying process, that means the group stage is already easier.
Yeah.
Plus, you have third place. Like, Ronaldo was a third place team.
Yeah, they had 3 draws.
Yeah, exactly. So
literally 3 draws.
They did.
They drew their way.
All the way.
In a 90-minute game, they drew all their games but 1 against Wales, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Every other game was extra time and shootout win. But, yeah, it's not even, easier to qualify for the Euros. It's easier to qualify for the knockouts.
Yeah.
So
Copa...
It's at the end of the day, it becomes similar. You see the best teams face the best teams. Copa, you just see the best teams face the best teams from the beginning.
And then you go.
That's the only difference.
And then you get World Cup where it's tough. Like Argentina had to come to the last day to qualify. I think
They did.
the last one or whatever it
They had to
was.
beat Poland.
I think was it for the 2022 one or 2018?
What do you mean? Yeah, both times.
Yeah, because
They had to be
obviously
Nigeria.
you'll get upsets.
They had to be Nigeria then. They had to be Poland to make it through for this one.
Oh no, I'm talking about the qualifiers.
Yeah, even then too. Yeah.
Like, it was tough for them to like. They were like Brazil was the only lock at the
Yeah, it's tough, right?
because you'll get the rare upset in a Euro too, because North Macedonia beating Italy, no one expected that, and they beat them again this year too.
It's Italy. They've fallen off.
Well, no, this was after they won the Euros.
Yeah,
though.
no, that's true.
So no one thought that was gonna be the case though.
But yeah,
Because yeah,
we'll call it there.
We'll call it there. That was a good day.
We could talk about
There's
this.
a debate for it for sure.
Like every topic, we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
But this one, I know.
Get us a radio show. Anyone watching?
I know this one.
Give us 3 hours.
I know this one. Yeah, that's true. But I know this topic we'll be probably talking about off camera. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's pod.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the 3 videos we dropped Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We drop content for you guys. Right, this week might not be as big as last week, but but check out the MLB tier list, MLB tier list coming out this weekend. But make sure you guys check out the NFL tier list, mid-season rankings. Comment on that video. What do you guys agree or disagree with? We love to engage in the comments with everybody. Peter, Glinda, Blake Murphy. Make sure you guys follow them and check their workout. Check out those podcasts; they were great. We talked NBA and MLB with Blake, and then we talked Canada soccer and European soccer with Peter. So make sure you guys check all that out. Check that out on our channel. And other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.